Ever pondered about how you perceive your problems? Do you consider them as gigantic mountains or mere stepping stones? Imagine for a moment you are holding a magnifying glass. As you bring it closer to an object, the object appears larger, more intimidating. This is exactly what happens when we let our perception exaggerate our problems. They are not monstrous beasts, but we make them so. We give them that power. We turn molehills into mountains, and in doing so, we allow these mountains to cast giant shadows over our lives. Perception, you see, is a powerful tool. It shapes our reality. It's the lens through which we view the world. When this lens magnifies our problems, they begin to seem insurmountable. This doesn't just affect us, but also influences how the world sees our problems. If we view them as gigantic, so will the world, and this can lead to a cycle of negativity, anxiety, and stress. But what if we change our perception? What if we stop using that magnifying glass? Suddenly, those mountains start to shrink. They become mere stepping stones on our path to success. They no longer have the power to bring us down, because we no longer give them that power. Perception is not just about how we see our problems, but also how we approach them. When we stop exaggerating them, we start seeing them for what they truly are: challenges that can be overcome, opportunities for growth and learning. We start realizing that we have the strength and the ability to tackle them head-on. But remember, this shift in perception starts with us. We need to stop exaggerating our problems, to stop letting them control our lives. Only then can we truly start to overcome them. Only then can we show the world that we are not defined by our problems, but by how we tackle them. Remember, when you exaggerate your problems, the world too will perceive them as insurmountable. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to radiate happiness despite their problems? Think about your old friend John, for instance. John was a guy who always had a smile on his face. He had his fair share of problems, just like all of us do. He was laid off from his job, his car broke down, and he was going through a tough breakup all at the same time. But instead of wallowing in his misery, John chose to find joy in the little things in life. He took the bus and enjoyed the sights of the city he never noticed before. He cooked his meals and discovered a passion for cooking. He spent time with his friends and family, finding solace in their company. John's positivity didn't go unnoticed. People around him were drawn to his infectious joy. They saw his problems, yes, but they also saw his happiness. Instead of pitying him, they admired him. They helped him find a new job. They pitched in to fix his car. They provided a listening ear when he needed to talk about his breakup. John's happiness amidst his problems changed the way others perceived his situation. This is the power of positivity. It's contagious. It influences the way others perceive not just our problems, but us as individuals. So remember, problems are inevitable, but our response to them is completely within our control. When you are happy, despite your problems, the world will help you get even happier. While we can't always choose our problems, we can always choose how to respond. Isn't that empowering? This thought alone holds a profound truth about our lives. Imagine a sailor on a stormy sea. He didn't choose the storm, but he can choose how to navigate his ship. He can panic, abandon the helm, and let the storm guide his fate. Or he can stand firm, keep his wits about him, and steer his ship through the turbulence. The storm is the same, but the outcomes are worlds apart. Similarly, in our lives, we often find ourselves in the middle of storms we didn't choose. But remember, we can always choose our responses. Let's take the example of Thomas, who lost his job unexpectedly. He could have let despair take over, seeing his situation as a dead end. But instead, he chose a different response. He saw it as an opportunity to pursue a career he was genuinely passionate about. He ruled his own emotions, didn't let the problem overcome him, and ultimately changed the course of his life. This is the power of choice, the power to determine our responses, our emotions, and ultimately, our life's trajectory. It's not about ignoring our problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about controlling our reactions to them. It's about ruling ourselves so that our problems don't rule us. When you rule yourself, your problems can never rule you. That's the power we all possess. Embrace it. Ever felt like you're the only one struggling while everyone else seems to have it all figured out? Let's delve into this perception, a common misconception that can lead to feelings of isolation. It's the belief that you're the odd one out, and that everyone else has their lives perfectly under control. But let me tell you, it's not the truth. It's far from the reality that we all live. Imagine for a second, a swan gliding gracefully across a lake. To the casual observer, It appears serene, effortless even. But beneath the water's surface, those webbed feet are paddling furiously, propelling the swan forward. The same goes for us humans. On the surface, people may seem to have it all together, but underneath, they're dealing with their own struggles, their own furious paddling. Each one of us is fighting battles that others know nothing about. It's easy to look at someone else's life, especially in this age of social media, and think, wow, they really have it all figured out. But what we're seeing is just the surface, the highlight reel. It's not the full picture. We all have our struggles. We all have our moments of self-doubt, fear, and uncertainty. We all have days when we feel like we're falling apart. The difference lies in how we choose to handle these struggles. Do we let them define us, or do we rise above them, learn from them, and come out stronger on the other side? So, the next time you feel like you're the only one facing difficulties, remember this: you are not alone. You're not the odd one out. We're all in this together, each dealing with our own challenges in our own ways. And these problems, they don't define you. They're just a part of your journey, a journey that's uniquely yours. Remember, everyone is fighting their own battles, and you are not alone. Your problems do not define you, but how you handle them does.